Good morning. I'm again Dr. Kanade, and we will continue our lecture on advanced microcontroller and its applications, the architecture of PK18F 458, from where we left yesterday. Okay, we were discussing about the simplified view of PK18F 458, where at the heart there is a CPU, and as we have been discussing, this microcontroller has Harvard architecture where program ROM and data RAM are different, or there are separate memories for program and data, right? And that's what we have seen here. This is the program ROM and this is the data RAM. Okay, also you should note down that this stack is again a separate section of memory which is neither part of the program ROM or nor the data RAM. Okay, there is additionally E square PROM, which is again separate from the data RAM and program ROM. Okay, and rest of the things are the peripheral devices, timers, ports, and other things. Okay, now the figure that I am going to show you is the most important one, and that you must remember all the time is this one. Okay, this is again a simplified view of the internal structure of this microcontroller PK18F458. Okay, this is a very simplistic view, but if you remember this figure properly along with the numbers written inside the figure, then you will be able to solve a lot of problems and lot of questions based on this microcontroller. Okay, the basic you can see here, basic part, the heart of the microcontroller is this ALU. ALU means arithmetic and logic unit. Okay, this ALU is where all the means this section. Okay, this section is the ALU. This is the section where most the calculation part in the microcontroller takes place. The actual central processing takes place in the ALU. Okay, uh, this ALU, the central part consists of a WREG. Now this WREG word is new one for you, and it means working register. Working register. If you want to relate this working register with your previous whatever you know, okay, previously you know in the basic microcontroller 8085, what you have known is what kind of accumulator you have heard, right? Accumulator is the word that you have heard, where the actual calculations takes place. This WREG is similar to that accumulator. Okay, this is the basic base register, 8-bit register, where the arithmetic and logic operations will take place. Okay, this is the WREG, working register. Then status. What is status? It is the status word, or the flag register, you might have known it by. The flags which show the result of operations that happen inside the ALU. Okay, then okay, these are the things that we are going to discuss in details in further slides. I want to fetch your attention to this section, the buses drawn, okay, and the directions of the buses also. Now the first one, 21-bit address bus, this is going from the control from the microcontroller microprocessor unit towards the program memory. You can see this is a one-way direction. Okay, this is the address bus, 21-bit address bus going from controller unit to program memory. Okay, similarly a 12-bit address bus going from the microprocessor unit towards the data memory. Okay, address buses, 21-bit for program memory, 12-bit for data memory. And then there are another two buses, 16-bit instruction or data bus, okay, which is connecting towards the program memory. This is bidirectional. And 8-bit data bus connecting to the data memory, again this is bidirectional. Okay, these four things you must remember throughout the course. Okay, because this is going to play a very important role in understanding the functioning, the space, the working of the microcontroller and memory access and all. So for all those things, these things are very, very important, and that's why you must remember these numbers as well as their directions. Okay. Now, from the diagram, you can see there are three sections: the arithmetic and logic unit, registers, and control unit. Okay. This is in the microprocessor unit. Okay. Now the arithmetic logic unit, as this probably you already know from the 8085 8051, and these are similar things. The numbers have changed only. Okay. The instruction decoder is 16. In this case, it decodes 16-bit instructions. Most of the instructions in PIC18F458 are 16-bit instructions. Okay. Then the status register, it stores the flags which show or which indicate the function or the operation that has occurred inside the microcontroller. There are 5 bits in the status register. Okay, the status register, there are 5 bits. We will see in details. Then WREG, that is the most important register in the controller. It is called working register. It is basically a 8-bit accumulator. Okay, this is what we have been discussing. Now, the various registers that we have inside the microcontroller that we have seen here. Okay, these registers. Okay, now that we are going to see in a bit more detail. Program counter, or PC in short. You already know the concept of program counter from 8051. It is the register which holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. This definition you should remember all the time. It always holds the address of next instruction to be executed. Now the size of this program counter is 21 bit. Okay, this 21 bit size is very important because this 21 bit is the size of again the address bus. So program counter and the address bus have the same size. Program counter is 21 bit, address bus is also 21 bit. Address bus of program memory. Means what? The program counter will hold the address of the location of next instruction in the program memory. Means you will need 21 bits to store that address. That's why program counter is 21 bits. So how much memory we can access? Maximum amount of memory we can access using this 21-bit PC. It will be equal to how much? Anyone? 2 to the power 21 locations. 2 to the power 21 memory locations we can access using 21-bit address bus. Okay. Now there is another register called bank select register, BSR. See here, bank select register. This bank select register is a 4-bit register used in direct addressing the data memory. Now, of course, you will have to see this in details. You will see in our further slides. Okay. Then file select registers is a 12-bit register which can directly store the full address of data memory. Now you can see here data memory. It has 12-bit address. So these file selector registers, there are 3 file select registers and each of them can store 12-bit address of this data memory. Okay, and this will be used in indirect addressing mode. Okay. Of course, we are going to see all these things in detail because all these things are required for assembly language as well as C language programming in this case. Okay. Now the control unit, which is part of the microprocessor unit again, it provides timing and control signals like read or write operations because we have we are going to read as well as write in the memory. We are going to read some data, we are going to write some data. So all that thing will be controlled using these signals through signals provided by the control unit. Okay. Now, as I said, the address buses which are very important to know, the 21-bit address bus for program memory and 12-bit address bus for data memory. And the addressing capacity is decided by these numbers, 21-bit. So 2 raised to 21 will be the addressing capacity. You can calculate this. This will be equal to 2M, 2 mega. And B stands for byte. Each location will have a single byte. Each location can store a single byte. Okay. Then The data memory, it has 12-bit address bus, so its addressing capacity is 4 KB. How this 4 KB comes? 2 raised to 12. Okay, now this 2 raised to 12 means again it will be 4K, and each location will have 1 byte. That's why the total capacity will be 4 kilobyte. Okay, and the data buses that connect the microprocessor unit with the memories are 16-bit instruction database for program memory and 8-bit database for data memory. These are visible here, right? We talked about the address buses, and these are the data buses. Data bus 16-bit for program memory, 8-bit for data memory, right? Okay. And then control signals, as usual, as we said, they will send us signals of read and write. Either we will read or write in the memory. Okay. Somebody wants to say something? You have raised one hand. Okay. Anyway. So this is what we talked about, the addressing capacity. Okay. The maximum addressing capacity of PIC18F based on the size of the address buses. However, actual memory available inside the microcontroller is not the full memory, because remember, these memories are very costly. Okay, memories are very costly, and all these 2 MB available addressable space is not actually provided by the manufacturer. The IC that we are going to study, it is PIC18F458, and in this IC the available memory for writing program instructions is only 32 KB. Okay, and it ranges from 000000 to 007FFFH. Okay, this is the memory that we have available on chip. On chip means inside the IC it is available. Okay, if you still want more memory for your programs, then you can interface external memory with this, and that is possible, but in any case you cannot have more than 2 MB for program memory. This is a flash type memory, and that's why this F is here. This F in PIC18F name, PIC18F45, it stands for flash type memory. Okay. The second memory that we have seen is the data memory, which is static RAM. Again, the maximum addressable capacity is 4 KB based on 12-bit data bus, 12-bit address bus to the data memory. However, again, the available memory is not full, or we don't have 4 KB memory available to us. Only on chip available memory is 1536 bytes, 1536 bytes memory is available to us. Okay, the address range here is 0002 FFF. Now, if you think, this is actually the full range. Address range is 4K range. Okay, this is 12-bit, right? 000 to FFF. This is hexadecimal number, means 1111, 1111, 1111. So 12-bit address range is available. However, the data memory in a middle section is not available to us. We will see in details all these things. Okay. In addition to this data memory, there is additional E2PROM data memory, which is not part of this data memory space, and it is addressed through special function registers. We have 256 bytes of E2PROM data memory available inside the PIC18F45 IC. Okay. Now, this is in short what it shows, what we have inside the microcontroller. As I said, as far as the program memory is concerned, it is only from 000000 to 007FFF, which comes to 32K, and each location will hold 8 bits. Okay, means 1 byte. So total memory is available to us is 32 KB. Okay, 32 kilobytes of program memory is available to us. If you try to read anything afterwards means 8FFF or anything afterwards, if you want to read, if you try to read in from the program memory, you will get only 00. Okay, actually you should never try to do this because we don't have anything available. Instead of throwing error, the microcontroller will just read 00 and will get error. Okay, will not get error but will get 0 value. Okay, so this is how the program memory is. And the data memory, we have 12-bit address bus, so the addresses range from 000 to FFF. Now how these 4K is distributed, we'll see in details when we talk about data memory organization or RAM organization. Here is that data memory or RAM organization. Okay, so the address starts from this 000H, hexadecimal value 000. Okay, and the last address is FFFH. But what we have is not continuously from 000 to 5FFF. The memory is available, and in the end F00 to FFF. This is the memory that we have available. Okay, so are you getting what we have? We have 000 to 5FF and F00 to FFF. These are the addresses that I'm reading. Okay, but on this left side, what you can see is this data memory is divided into banks, bank 0 to bank 15, and each bank has 00 to FF, 00 to FF, 00 to FF. You can see this 00 to FF. Each bank has 00 to FF locations. Means how many? 256 bytes in each bank. And how many banks are available total? Total banks are 0 to 15, means there are 16 banks. Okay, in each bank you have 256. If you calculate this, you will get 4096. Okay, so this is how the 4K memory is. However, in our microcontroller PK18F458 microcontroller, the bank 6 to bank 14 are not available. This memory is again unused, and if you try to read anything from here, you will get only 0. Yes, yes, somebody want to say something? Yes, any doubts? See, what we are discussing is very important part. This is the data memory we are talking about. Okay, and this is going to play a very important role in how we write our programs. Okay, now coming to another very important aspect of the programming, this section, you see what is the name given? It is access bank. Access. Now this access bank is a virtual method of writing, a virtual addressing methodology inside the program, inside the data memory. Okay, this access bank is created virtually. It is actually part of this RAM only. Okay, but it consists of 00 to 5F from the very start or bank 0, and 60 to FF of bank 15. Okay, you can see here access RAM in the top, and here again access RAM at the bottom, you can see. Okay, so this access bank is not a separate memory. It is actually the same. It is actually part of the data memory, but only accessed in a specific way. This is to simplify certain programs and to save program space. Now how you can say how the program space is saved is can be understood by seeing this. Is this readable to you? Anyway, there is a further slide where you can read this again. but still I will explain this here. Okay, now if you note down, we need 12 bits, right, for address, right? 12 bits are required for address, any address, right? Any of these address. Now if in that instruction, any instruction, most of whenever we are trying to access the memory from this RAM, there is a bit A in the instruction. If that bit A is 0, then it means that we have to read from the access bank. Okay, now access bank is composed of what? If the address is 00 to 5F, then the higher 12 bits will be 0000. Higher 4 bits means what? The MSBs. 4 MSBs are, we need 12 bits, right? 8 bits are in the instructions. 8 bits are given in the instruction, and then 4 bits come from BSR. BSR what? BSR is what? This bank select register. Okay, but if A is 0, then BSR is ignored, and automatically for the first 96 bytes, the 4 bytes are 0000, and next 160 bytes, the higher 4 bits are 1111. Means if the for this section of the access bank, higher 4 bits or 4 MSBs are 1111, and for this section of the access bank, right, for this section of the access bank, the 4 MSBs are 0000. This is how the 12-bit address is created if A is 0. And if A is 1, then it is simple. 8 bits are here and 4 bits are taken from the BSR. Whatever value of BSR is, that is directly augmented here, and that's how we get the 12 bits. Okay, so this is how the 12-bit address of the data memory is created. Okay, this diagram has been taken from the PIC18F45 data sheet. It is on page number 46. Okay, so you should refer this diagram only. There are certain please don't refer local books. They have given in the data memory organization, they have given a generic diagram for PIC18F family where this is not 5F, this is 50-50. But for 458, this is not 50-50 division. Okay, so remember, don't refer any other book, refer only the PIC18F45 data sheet. Okay. Okay. So is there any doubt regarding the data memory organization? This is very important topic, and each of you must understand what is we are talking about. Okay. Any doubts? No? Shall we continue? Okay. So this is what I have explained again on this, because here it was not clearly visible. So you can see it here written again. All we want is 12-bit address to be created. Okay. The most common way is to use the BSR or the access RAM. There is another way of using FSR, which is file select register. It will hold directly the 12-bit address and can directly point to the memory. However, this is only useful for indirect addressing mode. Most of the times we will use direct addressing mode in the instructions, and that's why the second section that I have explained is very important. This is all written here. This PPT will be available on Moodle, so you can take advantage. You can always read this, and this is also available in my notes that I will circulate on Moodle. Okay. Now some other specifications of PIC18F45 that you should know is this particular IC. We are studying PIC18F458. Okay, is a 40-pin DIP package IC. It has 8-channel 10-bit ADC. Now what it means? 10-bit ADC. What it means? First thing, there are two different words here: 8-channel and 10-bit ADC. 10-bit ADC means, I think you have studied one ADC in 8051 or FMA subject, right? 0808 ADC you have studied. It was 8-bit ADC. What it means is, whatever analog signal that you provide to the to that ADC as an input, the output will be 8-bit, and 8-bit means the output value will be 0 to 255 for 8-bit. But since this is a 10-bit ADC, how much will be the range of output for 10-bit? Can somebody tell me? How is this calculated, 0 to 255? Any guess? Yes? Somebody guess it? What will be the range of output for the 10-bit ADC? It will be 0 to 1023. How we come to this range 1023? It is 2 raised to 10 minus 1. 0 to 2 raised to 10 minus 1. This is 0 to 2 raised to 8 minus 1. Okay, this is how we get. And 8-channel means at a time we can interface 8 analog inputs to this microcontroller. Okay, and this ADC is inbuilt inside the PK18F458 microcontroller. So if you want to interface any analog signal, for example a temperature sensor, then you don't need any external ADC IC, right? That is the advantage of this PK18F458 over the 8051 microcontroller. There are two comparators inside the microcontroller. There is a CCP module. CCP means capture, compare and PWM module. One CCP and one enhanced CCP. These CCP modules we are going to study in the 4th unit. Okay. Then there is master synchronous serial port and USART, universal synchronous asynchronous receiver transmitter. This we are going to study in the 5th unit. And there are 4 timers, 3 16-bit timers and 1 8-bit timer. We have 4 timers inside the microcontroller. All we are talking about is, all these things are inbuilt inside the microcontroller at PK18F458. The memory that we talked about is also inbuilt. It is also on-chip memory. Okay. So you can see now the difference that for 8051, you needed everything to be interfaced externally. However, in this case, all these things are available inbuilt inside the microcontroller. For example, this PWM. This PWM module is inbuilt. There are 2 PWM modules basically, in fact. So you can generate 2 PWM signals. Okay. You have 4 timers. You have 8 ADCs you have basically. That 2 more better ADCs, 10-bit ADCs. Okay. So that's why this microcontroller is very, or it is considered much more advanced than the 8051. Okay. Now coming to the registers inside the microcontroller, we have seen some of those already, but we'll just take a look back again in more detail. The program counter. As we said, the program counter is 21-bit. So maximum addressable program memory is 2 raised to 21 locations, and each location stores 1 byte. That's why the total memory is 2 MB, total addressable memory. However, this IC has only 32 KB memory on chip, and the addresses for this memory are 00000 to 07FFFH. Okay. The definition, by definition, program counter holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. Okay. It always holds the next address of the next instruction to be executed. Okay. And it is incremented automatically when CPU fetches opcode from the program room. Once the opcode of the one instruction is fetched from the program memory, means one instruction comes from the program memory, the program counter automatically increments. Okay. This is the structure of the program counter. Now, since there are 21 bits, it is divided basically into 3 sections. PCL means program counter low, PCH means program counter high, and PCU is program counter upper. Remember, this U stands for upper. You will come across these notations multiple times. So remember these things. PCL, PCH, PCU, low, high, upper. Okay, so 8-bit PCL, 8-bit PCH, and 8-bit PCU. However, since we need only 21 bits, 8 plus 8, 16 plus 5 is 21. So rest of the 3 bits are always 0. Okay, this is the 21-bit program counter. Now you may ask that we are talking about 21-bit PC, it is a separate register, then why these 3 separate are available again? These are to manipulate the program counter. If you want to manually jump from one place to another without you want to change the flow of program, like this PC automatically increments, and it contains the it will automatically have the address of the next instruction. However, if you want to manually change the content of the PC, you can do that by changing the contents of these 3 registers. Okay. Then this PC is used to address access to hold the address of the program memory. So this is how the program memory will look like. Okay. On reset means whenever we start the microcontroller or provide or make it reset, the program counter will always hold the address 000000H, means the very first address in the program memory. Okay, so whenever you want to write a program and whenever you want to start executing from a particular instruction, that instruction must be written at this particular location. This can be done using the ORG instruction. Okay, then each address in this memory will hold how much? Only 1 byte. Okay, and one instruction word for PIC18F458 is 16 bits. So in general, for one instruction, we need 2 locations in the program memory. So I will ask you one question before, and we'll end our meeting. How many single word instructions can be written in PIC18F458? You can unmute yourself and answer my question. Are you can you hear the question? You can see here, right? The question is, how many single word instructions can be written in PIC18F458? Single word means 16-bit instructions. Anybody? Yes? See, we can write 16384 16-bit instructions inside the program memory. How come this much? How come these many instructions only? Okay, now I will give you this as a problem for tomorrow before starting tomorrow's lecture, or you can answer the you can send your answers on our group. Okay, you can send the answer on our WhatsApp group. These are the maximum number of instructions that we can write inside the PIC18F. We have memory up to this much. Okay, and in this memory space we can write only up to these instructions. How you have to explain. Okay, so we are now running out of time, so we will stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask the questions. Anyone? No questions? Okay, so if there are no questions, I would want you to solve this. Okay, I want explanation of this answer. Why only these many instructions can be written in the in PKTN 458, and you send me these answers on our WhatsApp group. Okay, so we will stop our meeting here, and we'll meet tomorrow again at this same time at 10 o'clock. Okay.